Got ahead of myself like a dummy. I think that's right. Let's go check it. I think those need to go the other way. Yeah, that's right. Little slope there, matches that. And then these tabs should be there. Retorque these. I don't remember what that was now. Do you guys remember? I'll look it up. 150. That's where it's at. Cool. That's the last thing I did. Alright. So I got ahead of myself. I needed to get the brake pad shims in before putting it on, because you can't get these on and with it on here. So I already did the other ones and I cleaned everything up. Now we're ready. So this is ready for the caliper. Let me get the others on too. We are going to reassemble these brake calipers, and I'm going to use a little bit of brake fluid to assemble these parts. Then we're going to kind of seal these up because I don't want too much exposure to the air. I don't want to absorb too much water from the air, but today it's been a pretty dry atmosphere, so I think we should be okay for a while. But I'm just going to apply a little bit of lube to some of these surfaces, and then once we're assembled, it'll be sealed up pretty well, so it won't have too much exposure to the air. And again, these are going to get installed probably tomorrow. Well, ideally tomorrow, so that they'll have as little time as possible exposed to the air. I already put these seals on these pistons just to make sure they were the right ones. They seem like they're the right ones. So let's push that down in there. Let's see how we do. Yep, that's snug. That's for sure. Okay, I like that. Don't really have to get the bottom there, but that's probably good enough. Looks good. Seals are seated. Good to go. There's one caliper. Let's do the next one. All right, for these slide pin boots, I'm going to use a little bit of this dielectric grease silicone so it won't hurt the rubber. At least that's the idea. And then I'll use the brake caliper grease. This is for pins. It says on here, shim disc, caliper slides and bolts and pins, metal to metal contact points. I will be putting a little bit of this on these surfaces in here where it touches the other brake pad, and on here on the surface of the piston, but I'm not going to do that until right before I put it on because I might have to take this apart and I don't want grease everywhere on it. So, but I am going to get these caliper boots in here. I guess since I don't have much control over how it goes in, it's just gonna be messy. And that's okay. Can always clean it up. There we go. Slide pins. Yeah. Now this is what gets this stuff. I could use dielectric grease here too, but we're gonna go with this stuff because I have it. And it's just gonna get messy, so probably should have started this one first and then greased it up. That would have been the smart thing to do. There we go. Now that there's no grease on it, well, kind of used to the other slide pins that just have one side, but I think that feels pretty good actually. Okay, that one's actually done and ready. Mate, ugh, jeez, come on. Whatever. Alright, so I know I have enough of these, or so I think. Yeah, this is for the other calipers. Somehow I'm missing the other seals, which I don't get. I know I had them, and that's not in this stuff. This is all old. These are the old cracked ones. Yep. Oh well, I'm just gonna have to find new ones, I guess. Unless it's possible I put them in the truck, but I don't think so. So weird. So weird. I don't know where they would be. Very strange. Very, very strange. Now I'm gonna have to see if I actually ordered them or not, because I'm fairly confident I did. I remember saying 2 each. Alright. I guess that's it for tonight, guys. That's all I got, apparently. Jesus, so close. There's the front and the rear. As soon as I get the other seals, I'll do the other side. Okay, bye. Crisis averted. I found, well, I didn't find them. I had to go purchase more. Apparently, I only bought 1 each of the seal kits. I have no idea why. I bought 2 of everything else. I don't get it. Anyway, make sure you check all the parts, because I could have ordered 2 and only gotten 1. So that's another thing, is make sure you do it, especially if you're not going to get the things right away. I've had companies say they're not going to do anything because I bought it 6 months ago and no, I'm only now coming to them. So check your stuff. Okay, these are all assembled and ready. The parts list of reassembly is dwindling fast. We only have these little shield brackets put on. That's for the stabilizer bushings. We got nothing over here, so I've got everything on here that we're gonna need. The brake pads are on, so let's get the calipers on, get the brake lines hooked up, bleed the brakes out. We'll start buttoning up the rest of it. Differential cover needs to go back on, fill that up. I need to clean up the sway bar over there. And then I need to get the steering linkage on. That's about it. I'm ready to get this done. Not that I'm tired of doing it, but it's time. Almost out of gloves. This one's a little bent, so I think I'm gonna mount it on here and see if I can bend it back out once I get it on here. Nothing's supported on this, just a little shield of some sort. Let's give it a cool couple. Let's give it some tight pulls. That should be good enough. If I need to, maybe I can get my big channel locks on there and try and bend it out, but no, I might just leave it there. So if you imagine this on the truck, you know, you have to have the bleeder up. So there should be one for this side, and then there should be one that's mirrored like this. So that's what we want, is the bleeder up outside this way. So this is the inside of the vehicle, that's the outside. So this has to go on the passenger side, and this one's the driver's side. Here. Okay. All right, so we're just going to grease here on these tabs, the pistons, a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there. Just going to put just a tiny bit, I don't need very much. A little bit there, a little bit there, up here, and a little bit here. Should help. So bottom in first. Get that up in there. Yep. Push that in. Okay. There she is. Just gonna hand tighten these for now. I'm gonna put it on here loosely. So I got the crush washer on the outside, one on the inside, and then just gonna go right in there. And again, I'm just gonna hand tighten it for now. Pretty disappointed in this paint. It's caliper paint, to be honest. It's supposed to be heat resistant and chemical resistant, but just me touching it with this grease, it's like instantly it's just like coming off. You can see it coming off. I followed the instructions. I don't know. I guess this just means I gotta go do some powder coating. So disappointing. Spent so much time on these too, you know? Whatever. Done with it. Alright, let's move on. Okay, so if it's like that, if we're turned fully this way, there's no kinking, no stress. And then if we go all the way this way, same thing. There's nothing kinking, nothing getting in the way. I think that's the way it should be. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side off camera. Then we'll come around. I'm going to go around and just do off camera. I'm going to torque all these bolts, get them to spec, and then I'll bring you back when we are ready to do the brake bleed. All right, it is brake bleed time. Got my fluid extractor here, and I've got my brake bleeder tool. But before we do that, I'm going to suck all of the old fluid out of this brake reservoir here. All the brake lines are torqued off. So let's extract this old brake fluid from the reservoir so we're not wasting our time and pulling bad fluid through the system. Open this. And why are we not extracting? Is there nothing left in there? It could be empty. Yeah, it's just empty. Yeah. Pretty nasty in there, actually. This thing is really, really dirty. I don't know, man. I might want to take this out and clean it. I'm not liking what I hear and see in there. Seems like there's just two little bolts here on the bottom. I think they're on this side though. I would probably have to take this coolant reservoir out of the way to get to it. Can't quite tell. I really want to clean this out though. It's so nasty in there. That's really gross. I don't want to put new fluid in there and then have it be... I know it gets filtered through here, but man, it is bad in there. If you guys can see in there or not, but not looking good. Alright, let me think about this for a minute. I decided to take the master cylinder off. This little brake fluid reservoir is held onto the master cylinder with these pins. I don't want to try and get under there and get to it. I think by the time I do that, I can just take the whole thing off. And given the way that the tank looks, I want to inspect the master cylinder and make sure there's no garbage in there. So I just pulled this coolant reservoir out of the way. I'm just kind of holding it out of the way so I can get to these bolts on the master cylinder that's on the brake booster. Yeah, see, they're just in there with those roll pins. There's no way I was going to get that out. Alright, so not doing the brake bleed today. I gotta take this apart and make sure we're still good.